Hello and welcome to Traditional Painting the Digital Way. This is where I use digital painting apps to teach traditional painting techniques. This is part 2 in my Cowboy Ghost series, and I'm doing this painting for Inktober and also for Halloween. If you're following along with the Inktober prompts, you're supposed to actually do a drawing every day, but I usually just get about one drawing done, so I just combined it with my Halloween drawing. And so here I'm just kind of working again on the watercolor part. We're going to start the watercolor part. I've got the drawing the way that I want it, and as I said in my previous video, go ahead and get your drawing the way you want it so that you can ink over it after you get all the watercolor done. And so you might want to make your drawing on a separate piece of paper and then use some carbon paper to transfer it over onto your good watercolor paper so that you don't have erase marks and things like that that will mess up your background. And so here I wanted to go ahead and make the sky kind of a evening sky. I don't want to do this one as a night picture. I like the idea of the little ghost being out in the evening. So I wanted to go ahead and just kind of give it a pink orangey glow in the background for the sky, and with a little bit of the blue showing through like we're reaching sunset. And I'm using some light pink color, light rose, and some orange color, sort of a salmon color. And the color names are going to be different depending on what kind of watercolors you're using. But you want sort of an orangey color for the sky, for the clouds. And again, since this is a ghost and I want to push that point home in my painting, I make sure that it shows through, that he's transparent and the background behind the ghost shows through. And so the clouds are going to show through him because he's transparent. And if you're following along with traditional painting, you can use your water brush, or you can use a little round watercolor brush, probably a number 3 round size, something like that. And then here I wanted to go ahead and do the distant mountains in Monument Valley in sort of a purplish color, purplish blue, to show that they're distant and in the back, because you want to show a little bit of aerial perspective. So I'm using some of the watercolor brushes in Infinite Painter to sort of make the light washes on the background mountains there. And then as you come forward, they're going to look a little bit more orangey or sort of burnt sienna color. Of course, they're still going to be transparent because you're using a watercolor wash. And here I just wanted to kind of add the middle tone for the mountains, and then add a little bit of some lighter color, maybe a yellow ochre type of a color, and just add that around on the edges and on the underneath the two peaks that are sticking up there, and just kind of give some variation of color to show that it's the ground and the different textures and different minerals and things that are found in Monument Valley. Because it's volcanic, it has all kinds of different mineral colors, and I suppose that the rusty color is caused by iron and oxidation in the air. That just kinds of usually means there's iron in something when it gets that rusty color. And of course, these are volcanic peaks, so they're going to have iron in the minerals. And then here I wanted to go ahead and start using a whitewash, and you can use white in acrylic, I mean in watercolor. You can use white. It won't be like acrylic. It won't be as opaque or anything. But that's what we want here. I just want it to look transparent and just kind of not cover the background completely. It will cover it a little bit, but I want it to be fairly transparent again to make sure that he gives the impression of a ghost. And then here I'm just painting his little red bandana to show that he's a cowboy ghost, and just using kind of a reddish orange color, whatever kind that you would have in your watercolor set. And then I'm also using a little bit of some black. Again, it doesn't have to be solid black. We want this to look like a watercolor wash. So I'm using some of the watercolor brushes in Infinite Painter, and then also using some of it to blend the just water type brushes to blend the watercolor paint, just to give it that watercolor look. Infinite Painter has some pretty good watercolor brushes, and you can get a really good watercolor look with them. So here I'm just kind of working on the shadows in the peaks, the little peaks in Monument Valley there, and adding a little bit of some purplish and blue peaks there. We just want to show the texture, the rugged look on the little peaks that are poking up, and trying to get the look of the weathered rock that's there. So I'm adding a little bit of the shadows, and I will add more detail when I do the final inking. So I'm working on the background mountains, and you can use a dark purple pen if you want to, a dark purple ink. If you don't have that, you can just go ahead and use your black, regular black ink. Keep it kind of not real bold. Make a sort of a thin line. Keep the lines really thin in the background so that keeps the aerial perspective look, and it adds some depth to your pen and ink painting as well. So here I'm just trying to add the peaks in the background and the canyons, and sort of the jagged edges that they have, that look that they have in Monument Valley. And then for the middle ground peaks, you can make them a bigger line, a bolder line also, and you can use maybe a brown ink, or again, if you're just using black ink, just make it a bigger line, and that will also give the illusion of depth in your pen and ink painting. So here I'm just kind of drawing in the crags on the little peaks and trying to get that look that they have of the striations and the horizontal and the vertical look of all the cracks in the rocks in Monument Valley. So I'm sketching that in, and adding a little bit of some lines at the bottom to give that the texture of roads and the dirt and the canyons that are out there. So this is the end of my Cowboy Ghost part 2. Stay tuned. We've got one more part to it, and I'm going to go ahead and do the final inking on the ghost, and we'll just go ahead and finish it up. So if you want to see that, stick around, hit the subscribe button. Thanks everybody for watching. Thank you so much for your support. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments down below, and I will catch you later.